Hi everybody, very welcome to Mentor and yet another video podcast. As always, I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today on the video, guys, crisis management. What do you do if something unexpected happens to you? How do you think? How do you prioritize? Now, I'm going to base this video on what we are taught as airline pilots to deal with ongoing crisis. But what I'm going to tell you can be used in any walk of life, so stay tuned.
Wind 31016, everyone right, put on. Third land, 31 right. Delta 260. We're good.
So guys, you're hit with a type of crisis. It could be an economical one. It could be in your job. It could be in your personal life. It could be anything. How are you supposed to deal with it? Now, as an airline pilot, we continuously train our pilots through ongoing biannual instruction, through line checks, through seminars, things like that, in order to be prepared for when the worst happens. Because in our job, we do 99.99% of the flights in the same way, right? We use the same standard operating procedures. Everything is done exactly in a very set pattern, so that we know at any given point what the other one that we're working together with is supposed to do. However, on the 0.01 times, of the flight, we might encounter a crisis. And it might be very, very sudden. And of course, an airline pilot is trained to be able to deal exactly with those kind of circumstances. We are never judged from how good we are on flying day to day. No, we're judged on what we do when a real crisis happens. And it can be years. Even you can go a whole career without that defining moment happening to you. But when it happens, we need to have tools to deal with it. And that's what I'm going to try to give you in today's video. So, the first thing that a pilot is always taught to do is fly the aircraft. Okay? Under any circumstances, the first thing that you always do is fly the aircraft. Now you might wonder, what do you mean fly the aircraft? I mean, we're talking about normal crisis here. How do I apply to that? But this is your panic. Okay? So, if I suddenly am flying along and all of a sudden I get into the wake turbulence of another aircraft and I find myself upside down, the aircraft, hurtling down towards the ground, the first thing I do is I react based on my training in order to get the aircraft back into normal flying conditions. And that is exactly what you need to do as well. You cannot allow yourself to panic. Panic will never help you. Panic is something that came with us from when we were cavemen and we had saber-toothed tigers hunting us. And even then, it was not really helpful. It would have been more helpful when we were running away from that tiger if we knew which tree to climb or which road to run down. All right? So that's how you have to think. Initially, fly the aircraft. In a situation like we find ourselves now, that flying the aircraft might be just making sure that you follow the advice of trained healthcare professionals or your boss or the governing authorities, and keep yourself cool. Don't run to the supermarket and hamster everything that you see. Do what they tell you to do and think logically. So that's the first step. Avoid panic, right? Now, once you've gotten out of the panic stage and now you have a little bit of time, then you can apply a decision-making tool, right? You need a structure to your decision-making, because if not, you are going to find yourself with loads of different options and loads of different information, and you will not be able to make any sense out of it. So, different airlines use different decision-making tools, but they're all pretty much the same. We use an acronym called PIOSI. PIOSI stands for Problem, Information, Option, Select, Execute, and Evaluate. Right? And it has that structure for a very, very good reason. Because the first thing you need to do is you need to sit down and you need to define what your problem is. You might think that there's loads of different problems, but there's going to be one problem that is more important than the other. So, as, for example, if I take myself, if I'm flying and initially I have an engine failure after takeoff, okay, good. the initial part is flying the aircraft. I get the rudder in, I get the aircraft flying straight ahead, climbing, I'll get it cleaned up and saved, and I do my checklist. So that's flying the aircraft. But now the problem is not going to be the engine failure. The problem is going to be that I might have to do a landing on only one engine. So I might need a longer landing distance. I might not have fuel to reach where I want to go with the extra drag that comes with this. So my problem, and the way that I find my problem, is by sitting down and use your common sense and find what your key problem is. All right. Now, once you've found your problem, then we go to information, because now you need information about that problem. In your case, the problem might be my economy. Okay, I'm about to lose my job. What's going to happen to my economy? Okay, so then the information becomes, how much money do I have? How much money do I spend? Where do I spend that money? You know, are there something that I can actually shed? Things like that. All right, can I get money from somewhere else? So you gather all of that information that is pertinent to your specific problem. Then you get to options. Now the options opens up. So with the information that you have, do you have a different skill? Maybe you can find a job in something completely different. Do something completely different for a while. Maybe you worked with something else before that you come back to. Or maybe you have something that you're working on the side and you can spend a little bit extra time on that to see if that can become something. Just pile up your options that you have in front of you. Maybe that is moving to a different company or doing something within the same company in a different role, something like that. Now, once you have your options, since you know what the problem is, then you will also be able to choose which one of these options is going to be best to solve your particular problem. Right? Once that has been chosen, you need to execute it. You need to actually go through with it. And that is important. You can't be hesitant here. You have to go with the option that you've chosen. Now, the next thing is evaluate. And evaluate is crucial, guys. All right? Because you might be dealing with an environment that's constantly changing. You know, from day to day, we don't have the same information or options as we had the previous day. So as you are now walking along and you're executing your plan that you're following, you constantly look at, will this plan actually lead me to solve the problem? And if that evaluation tells you that actually now something has changed, well then it starts all over again. So the PIOSI is kind of a round shape like this, where you go around the problem, information, option, execute, evaluate brings you back to the next problem, and then you work around the clock until you have solved the issue that you had at hand, right? But, and I want to make this absolutely clear, guys, having this decision-making model and following that in whatever this might be, so be it economical, be it in your relationship, be it together with your friends, whatever it might be, it will give you a much better structure. And instead of feeling that you're in the midst of a chaos and you are the victim of circumstances, now you'll be put into the driver's seat, okay? The likelihood is that you will come out much more ahead in a much better way if you have followed a good decision-making model when you were hit with this crisis. Okay? Very important. Use this and it will help you. So why am I saying this then? Well, obviously right now we are in the midst of a ginormous crisis that is developing every single day, and a lot of people out there are going to be hurt one way or another. There's going to be people that are going to be laid off from their jobs within many different industries, and there's going to be a lot of bad things. But I firmly believe that when we get out on the other side of this, and we will, guys, there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there, and the opportunities will be taken by people who are able to take them, who have the tools available to make the best out of each given situation. And this is what I will be trying to give to you guys during the next couple of weeks. When I am here at home, locked in my house, I will be trying to reach out to people and give information to you. Because remember, if you are in pilot training right now, or you've just finished training, or you're about to go into pilot training, well then the problem might be very easy to define. but the information might not be that easy to find. And it's up to people like me to, in situations like this, help you as much as possible. And that's what me and the Airline Pilot Club is going to try to do during the coming weeks. You can expect more videos, more interviews from me, slightly different format than what you're used to. But I am going to do my damnedest to try to help you as much as possible to get out of this in as positive way as it's humanly possible. And you can help me, right? You can help me by asking questions. What do you actually want to know? What do you need to know in order to make the crucial decisions that lies ahead? Send it in below. Send it in through the Mentour Aviation app that I hope that you all have downloaded by now. And eventually we are going to open up the airlinepilotclub.com for you to use that as well. So it might not be open when this video is released. It's going to be open in the next couple of days. So go there regularly and check it out. And there's going to be loads of stuff happening there that we hope will help you guys. So wherever you are out there, I hope that you're keeping safe and that you'll have a great, maybe even an absolutely fantastic day. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Right guys, I really hope that you liked that. If you want more content like that, more aviation content, well then check this out. I hope that you have subscribed to the channel and that you've highlighted the little notification bell. See you inside of the Mentour Aviation app and have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye-bye.